Good morning. Ricardo Rio is mayor of the city of Braga, but also member of the Committee of the Regions and rapporteur of the latest opinion of the Committee of the Regions concerning the social economy, and more specifically, the Council recommendations on improving the framework conditions for the social economy. Thank you very much, Mr. Rio, for having accepted to join us for this short interview. Mr. Rio, the concept of renewable energy communities, such as it has been defined in the Renewable Energy Directive, has opened up new initiatives and perspectives for citizen participation and empowerment. In some member states or regions, local authorities have started supporting the creation of renewable energy communities, or even did it before. In others, however, policymakers are still hesitating to stimulate this type of initiative and to enter also in a kind of co-creation, co-design relationship with the social economy and citizens. This is true for renewable energy related initiatives, but also for other fields that are potential fields of cooperation between local governments and the social economy. How could this hesitation be overcome, according to you, and what could be the role of the Committee of the Regions here?
Well, thanks for the invitation and for the opportunity to exchange these views on these very important topics. It's something that myself and the Committee of the Regions has always been very engaged, but because we look at the social economy as indeed a way to promote a more inclusive development of our territories. And we have been trying to stimulate not only the reinforcement of the voice of the Committee of the Regions towards other European institutions, together with other stakeholders like REVS, to create a better framework of development of the social economy in Europe, but also something that also, in a sense, replies directly to your question, which is the sharing of best practices between our members and between other cities and local and regional authorities. We have so many successful examples, and I think that the best way to overcome this hesitation that you were mentioning has to do with showing that we can obviously have bad practices, and this can obviously inspire new stakeholders for facilitating this type of initiatives and for supporting this type of initiatives all over Europe. Obviously, in terms of a more political approach, the Committee of the Regions can provide policy recommendations, and we have been addressing a couple of important messages to the Commission and to other institutions at the European level. We have been advocating, obviously, for EU funding for financial support to incentivize and sustain, for instance, right now in this context, the REC initiatives, making it more accessible for different local governments to participate. We have obviously been advocating also for public campaigns, because it's not only about the political stakeholders or the institutions. We have to show to the communities the importance of the social economy and the initiatives like the RECs and the benefits that they can bring to our communities. And we obviously support, and we have been also asking for more training programs, for more capacity building initiatives, not only for the local and regional stakeholders, but also for the institutions that are engaged in these activities, and thus allowing them to better be prepared to deal with these topics and to become prescribers of the benefits that these initiatives can bring to each of the communities.
Talking about capacity building, we find ourselves currently in the European Year of Skills. Skills development is quite essential for social green transition processes, and also social economy enterprises have a number of needs in this respect. At the same time, however, they can also function as an important skill provider. In your opinion, how could local or regional policies help stimulate peer learning partnerships between the social economy and other actors, and also better value this often underestimated potential of the social economy as a skills provider?
Well, first of all, skills, or if you have you can address it on a broader perspective as talent is one of the biggest assets that any kind of community, any kind of territory is looking for, because it is crucial for the development of all the territories. And so every kind of initiative that can foster the development of the skills of the citizens, to retain talent, to attract talent from other locations, it's crucial. And indeed, the social economy, enterprises and organizations can play and have been playing an essential role also in terms of skills development, not only for their specific activities, but also because of their, what I would say, their unique structure, the way that they approach the workforce engagement in their activities. And to make it, let's say, more valuable and more spread in each of the communities, I think that once again, the peer learning experiences and the partnerships between, for instance, the social economy stakeholders and other actors like common business institutions, like educational institutions, local authorities, it's indeed very important. And to create these partnerships can be a vehicle of fostering the skills development within each territory. Also, I think that and looking at my perspective from a local authority or a regional government as well, we can invest in our territories in skill mapping and assessing the tools that we have to identify specific tools that are available, the skills that are available in our territories, and mainly in the social economy. And we can obviously try to match these needs of different actors, creating valuable learning partnerships between all of those. We are also in the period of the digital age, and digital skills are also very important. I think that one of the key areas that cities can be engaged is in promoting the digital inclusion and creating an added value also for social institutions in this dimension. And finally, I think that even in terms of the public procurement policies that we can develop, we should prioritize the social economy institutions, but also increasing their capacity to provide specific skills and jobs to disadvantaged groups, or to contribute to the green transition in each of the territories.
Mm-hmm. In June this year, the European Commission published a proposal for a Council recommendation on developing social economy framework conditions. We already mentioned before that you've been the rapporteur for the Committee of the Regions on this Council recommendation. The ball is for the moment in the court of the Council, who has already worked on it. What would be your main requests or suggestions towards the member states?
Well, it was really a very interesting process, not only because of the result of the opinion that we produced, but also the way that the Commission dealt with many of the suggestions that we proposed and that were quite aligned with other institutions in Europe. And so we look forward for the Council to obviously take specific initiatives that address some of the topics that were raised not only in the opinion, but in many, many discussions in latest years around the social economy. We have, as you know, a problem in terms of the, let's say, the economic dimension of the social economy and the financial dimension of the social economy, the difficulties in terms of access to the financial markets, the problems with the state aid, the fiscality of that goes for the social economy, the difficulties I was mentioning before, the public procurement, but in many countries, like in Portugal, we still have a lot of difficulties to have different approaches that value the social economy actors in public procurement, and the support in terms of financial instruments, things as simple as the data collection or the definitions that we have in Europe for the different actors of social economy. And so there's a need of a clearer legal framework and taxonomy, and for a social taxonomy that can address the social economy in its different realities, and to have a more, let's say, reliable source of information for the social economy in Europe, which can support the policies that the national governments, the European Union, or the regional and local authorities can develop. Then there's this need of having a subsidiarity approach between the policies that are developed between the different levels of government. We have a lot of great examples in Europe of regional and local policies that foster the social economy, that create better conditions for the development of the social economy, but in many cases they aren't aligned with the national institutions or even with European policies. And so to have a common strategy and a better alignment between these policies, it's very important. And then I think that we need to have, let's say, a more reliable source of information. I was mentioning data before, but I think that one of the interesting proposals that we had in that opinion was the idea of creating an observatory for the social economy in Europe in order to raise more information, to have better tools to support the policies that we need to implement. And finally, I think that it is very important to value the initiatives that are developed in the local level and regional level, mainly connected also with the social innovation, which is a very hot topic and that can be also, let's say, an important upgrade for the future of the social economy and its role in our societies.